Kia ora. This is Christina Höppner from Catalyst IT, Project Lead and Product Manager of the portfolio platform Mahara. It is December 2023, and I would like to show you how you can make Mahara portfolios available within the Learning Management System Moodle for assessment and evaluation purposes. Some of you may have used MNet Moodle networking in the past, but in this video I'm going to show you how you can use the Mahara assignment submission plugin in Moodle with LTI and other web services. MNet is not going to be supported much longer because PHP does not provide a precompiled extension for the underlying protocol XML-RPC anymore, and LTI, Learning Tools Interoperability, is a more modern option to connect systems with each other. Using the Web Services edition of the Mahara Assignment Submission plugin, you can either set up the connection on the site level or also on the course level. That gives you flexibility in who can access your Mahara site. By using the plugin, you can keep all assessments in one place for the tutor or lecturer, and they can also continue using familiar tools, including a grading rubric and marking workflow, for example. That's really where the plugin shines compared to the standard connection via the external tool option that is available in Moodle and other LMS. You can download the plugin from our public repository or access it via the Moodle plugin database. Now let's take a look at the setup of the plugin. Once you have installed it in your Moodle site, you can use it straight away. In order to do so, you will need some information from Mahara, so let's set that up. As site administrator in Mahara, go to the Administration menu, Extensions, Plugin Administration. There, scroll until you see LTI 1.1 or find it in the page. Click the configuration icon. On the resulting screen, you see all the elements that need to be configured for your site to use LTI 1.1. The easiest is to flip the Auto Configure LTI switch to Yes, and all necessary web services will be enabled. Save your settings and then go to Administration menu, Web Services, External Apps. That is where you set up the LTI connections. Give your application a name. Select the organization for which you want to set up the authentication method and make sure to select Moodle Assignment Submission from the drop-down menu of External Apps. Once done, click the Add button. When you use the Moodle Assignment Submission option, you do not need to set up another LTI connection for the pure authentication requirements, as that necessary web service is included in the Moodle Assignment Submission group of web services. So all you need is one connection for all your LTI needs with Moodle. We recommend that you create a special admin account for web services connections so that your site admin account is not associated with it. If you want to allow students and staff to have an account created when they log in via Moodle for the first time, enable the auto account creation. If you have an external authentication method set up that you want to use in conjunction with LTI, select it here to avoid that your students and staff are set up with multiple accounts. Now we are ready to set up the LTI connection in Moodle. If you want to trial it in a single course first, or if you know that you have multiple connections that you need to support, you can enter the LTI details directly into your Moodle assignment activity after you've selected the Mahara assignment option. Enter the URL for your Mahara site, the OAuth key, which is the consumer key in Mahara, and the OAuth secret, which is the consumer secret in Mahara, and save your settings. Alternatively, you can set up the connection in the Site Administrations plugin area, so that all courses use the same credentials and your staff don't need to know the details. On the plugin page for the Mahara assignment submission, you can tick the Force Credentials box for that. Then, similarly to the Moodle assignment, enter the URL to your Mahara site, the OAuth key, and the OAuth secret. When you then set up the assignment, you don't see any of the technical information, but can get started straight away. Now you can decide whether to unlock a portfolio after the assignment finished and whether to create an archive. Creating an archive is functionality that was not available in the Mnet edition of the plugin. Decide on the other submission options. If you want students to submit their portfolio at the start of the term but continue working on it, use the option Require students to click the Submit button. That way, only a draft is submitted at the start, students can work on it, and only when they are ready to fully submit will a copy of the portfolio be made. Next, select your grading method. In this case, I'm going to work with a rubric. Save the settings and head to the Advanced Grading tab and select the rubric you want to use if there is already one available, or create one. Alternatively, or in addition, you can also set up the marking workflow. The assignment is now ready to use. Now I'm logged in as student who is enrolled in this course, and as usual, I would enter the activity. I can then either create a new portfolio, or I can select a portfolio that I already have in my Mahara account and submit it. If I only do it as a draft, I can continue editing it, expanding it, etc. Once I submit the portfolio fully, a copy is placed into my account that I cannot change. I can see submitted portfolios on my portfolio overview page by selecting the Show Submitted Portfolios option. This is a new feature we introduced in Mahara 2304 to make the submission process more flexible. It allows students to continue working on their original portfolio, but also keeps a copy of the submitted portfolio. If that needs to be reworked, it can be used as basis of a new portfolio. As lecturer, I can now go to the Moodle activity and view the portfolio of my student that she submitted. On the assignment, I click the link to the portfolio and then view it. I can add comments directly on artifacts and on portfolio pages. These do not transfer to Moodle. They stay on the portfolio page or on the artifact itself if it is an artifact comment. When I return to Moodle, I can use the rubric that I have set up and leave additional comments that go into the Moodle gradebook. I also have other grading options available, like opening the portfolio for another attempt if the assignment settings allow for that. Once grading finished, an archive is made of the portfolio automatically on the Mahara site if I enabled that setting in the Moodle assignment. As long as the archive is pending, I can see it under Current Submissions in the Administration Groups area. The archive is made based on the server resources that are available and then according to a cron schedule. Once the archive has been made, it is available for download via the Archived Submissions tab in Mahara. That's how the Mahara Assignment Submission plugin Web Services Edition with LTI authentication works. If you have any questions, you can post them in the Mahara community support forums. You can add bug reports or feature requests directly on the GitHub page for the plugin. If you'd like to support the development of this plugin, please get in touch with me.